Hello everyone, good evening all of you. In this session today we are going to learn concept of DC and AC load line and also the selection of operating point on DC load line regarding transistor. So let me tell first. Okay. So in this session we are going to learn the concept of DC and AC load line. And coming to the next topic, selection of operating point on the DC load line. So here, before going to this, let me tell what is a load line. Here, in graphical analysis of non-linear electronic circuits, a load line is a line drawn on the characteristic curve, that is a graph of a which we are going to take the two parameters, that is current on one axis or voltage on another axis. We are going to draw the graph between these two parameters, that is current versus voltage, in a non-linear device like diode or transistor. It represents the constraint put on the voltage and the current in the non-linear device by the external circuit. If this load line is drawn only when DC biasing is given to the transistor, but no input signal is applied, then such a load line is called as DC load line. Suppose whenever we are going to draw a load line, it is drawn on, suppose for example, consider a transistor when there is no input signal is applied. In such condition, whenever the graph is drawn between the current as well as voltage, we can call it as a DC load line. Why? Because here we are not at all considering any AC part. Completely the characteristics which represents the transit is completely DC values. That's why we are naming it as a DC load line. Whereas the load line drawn under the conditions when an input signal along with the DC voltage are applied, for example, for the same transistor, if we connect any AC input signal, for that case, if we draw the load line considering the input signal along with the DC voltage, such load line is considered as the AC load line. Okay. So the DC load line shows the relationship between the current and voltage of the circuit under consideration of a given load. Load line method is quite easy and frequently used in the analysis of transistor applications. So in the transistor circuit analysis, it is generally required to determine the collector current for various collector emitter voltages. One of the methods can use it to be plot the output characteristics and determine the collector current at any desired collector emitter voltage. However, a more convenient method known as the load line method can be used to solve such problems. Note that this method is quite easy and is frequently used in the analysis of transistor applications. So let me tell the first one is DC load line analysis. For this, we need to consider a common emitter transistor circuit. Okay, when there is no signal is applied to its base terminal. Okay, for DC load line analysis, there should not be any AC signal connected to the base of the transistor. So that is the required condition to analyze this DC load line. Therefore, DC conditions prevail in the circuit. Let me tell first I will show the circuit diagram, then we'll move on to this equation. So here, consider this circuit. Here we are going to take DC load analysis. For this, we are going to consider a common emitter transistor circuit. where there is no signal. Here there is no AC signal is connected to the base of this transistor. So just we are considering this DC values, that is VDB as well as VC. By considering the DC values only, we are going to analyze this load line. So here, if we apply in this given circuit diagram, we apply the Kirchhoff's voltage law to the collector circuit. What happens? We'll get VCE, that is the collector to emitter voltage, is given as VCC minus IC into RC. So from this, what we can have, see here, we'll get applying the KVL in the collector circuit, will get VCC minus IC into RC minus VC. Rearranging the terms, we'll get VCE is equals to VCC minus IC into RC. Yes, this equation is going to use in this DC load line analysis. Next, moving on to the next step, consider this VCE equation as number 1. Okay, then rearranging the terms, the equation 1. Rearranging the terms in the equation 1. If you have, we have to equate for collector current, that is IC, which is equals to minus of 1 by RC into VCE plus VCC by RC. Rearrange the terms for, we are going to get the equation for IC, then this equation will become minus 1 by RC into VCE plus VCC by RC. So take this equation number 2. This equation 2 resembles the equation of a straight line equation, that is y is equals to mx plus c. Okay, y represents the y coordinate value and x is the x coordinate value, and c represents the constant, whereas m is considered the slope. Here, if equation 2 is plotted on the transistor output characteristics, here we have taken common emitter transistor configuration. So for that, for common emitter transistor, what are the output values? Collector current as well as collector to emitter voltage. These are the two values where we need to draw the output characteristics. See here, if you resemble this equation with this second equation, on y-axis, we are going to take the output current, that is collector current IC. Okay, and similarly the slope is given as minus of 1 by RC, and on x-axis we are going to take the collector to emitter voltage, which is represented as x value. Next, similarly the C represents the constant, which is taken as VCC by RC. Yes. So since VCC is constant and RC is constant, the ratio completely will get constant value. Okay, y can be given as mx plus c. So we'll get a straight line, and here by considering these values, we have to draw the DC load line on the output characteristics of this common emitter transistor. We'll get a straight line, and we are going to name it as the DC load line as shown in the next figure. Therefore, the DC load line represents the locus of x and y point, that is VCE and IC, for any given value of RC. Let us see here. On this plot represents the characteristics of other than the straight line. We are going to draw this DC load line, that is straight line, on the output characteristics of CE configuration. So on output characteristics of CE configuration, on x-axis we are going to take the output voltage, that is collector to emitter voltage. On y-axis we are going to take the output current, that is the collector current, which is measured in milliamperes, and here the voltage is measured in volts. Okay, so here maintaining, these are the output characteristics of common emitter configuration, where this is a plot. We are going to have different plots for different base current values. Here they have taken for different values of base current, that is Take, for example, 5 microamperes, 10 microamperes, and 15 microamperes. Okay. The line joining between these 2 points, that is A and B, can be considered as DC load line. So we have to define the 2 points. What is this point A represents and what is the point B represents? Yes. So here the equation which is in the form of 2 here resembles a straight line equation, that is y is equals to mx plus c, no? So which is the representation of straight line on the output characteristics. This is known as DC load line. It determines the curve between the VC and the IC points for any given value of RC, that is the collector resistance. The 2 points of the 2 points of the DC load line is located as below. I will show how we can calculate the values of these 2 endpoints of this load line. So first, let me tell. It is the line on the output characteristics of the transistor, common emitter transistor circuit, which gives the values of IC and VC corresponding to zero signal or DC conditions. The first main important thing we have to consider is zero signal or DC condition. Second, the slope of the DC load line is given as minus 1 by RC, which is taken from the equation 2 as we have seen previously. That is, the slope of the given straight line can be given as 1 minus of 1 by RC. Okay, and is decided by the values. And is decided by the value of the resistance RC. Based upon this value RC, the slope is determined. Okay. Third one, since the resistance RC is the DC load of the amplifier, the line AB is called DC load line. Okay, the collector resistance RC is considered as the DC load of this amplifier. So that's why we are going to consider it as DC load line. Okay, and let me tell how we are going to get these 2 points. So here, how we can plot the DC load line. The line joining between saturation and cutoff points is known as DC load line. To draw the DC load line, we need 2 endpoints of the straight line. Case 1, cutoff point A. We observe the C here. The region we can call here as the saturation region. The point B lies in the saturation region, whereas point A lies in the cutoff region. Between this cutoff and saturation, we are going to name it as active region. Okay. So here, the line joining between the saturation and cutoff points can be treated as DC load line. To draw the DC load line, we need 2 endpoints of the straight line. So case 1, let me determine the cutoff point A. It is located in cutoff region. Okay, that's why we are naming it as cutoff point A. If IC is equal to 0, then what happens? The equation 1 from, if IC on x-axis, IC value will be 0, no? On x-axis, IC value will be 0. If we substitute in the equation 1, what is that? This is the equation 1. Okay, if IC is equal to 0, then what is VCE? VCE will be equal to VCC. Yes, we make a note of this. So thus, VC will be equal to VCC. Thus, the coordinates of the cutoff point A are VCC, comma 0. Why? Because on x-axis, we are going to take the values of VCE. So, for a given point, the graph, we are going to take the coordinates x, comma y. X is represented as VC value. Here, the VC value is VCC, comma, and y value is represented as IC. Here, the IC is taken as 0. On x-axis, the y value will be 0. That is, IC value will be 0. So, And therefore, the point A represents VCC comma 0. At point A, the transistor is in cutoff mode. Okay. Then coming to the next case, we have to define the saturation point B. It is located in the saturation region. That's why we name it as saturation point. So for this, you need to, since it is located on y-axis, the saturation point B is located on y-axis. On y-axis, the x value will become 0. That is, VC will be equal to 0. So if you substitute this value in the equation 1, if VC is equals to 0, then what happens with equation? Here the IC value will be equals to VCC by RC. Make a note of this. If VC equal to 0, substitute this value in the above equation, that is VC equal to VCC minus RC. Then IC will be equals to VCC by RC. Okay. Thus, the coordinates of the saturation point B are on here x, that is the VC value will be 0 on y-axis at the point D. Y x value, that is VC, is equal to 0, and IC value will be, that is y point, is represented as VCC by RC. Therefore, the coordinates of the saturation point B are 0, VCC minus RC. At point B, the transistor is in saturation. We have to take a note that the DC word indicates that only DC conditions are considered. That is, input signal is assumed to be 0. Okay, the word DC indicates that it works only for DC conditions, that is, without application of external input AC signal. Here the input signal is assumed to be 0. Only by considering DC values in the circuit, we are going to get this coordinate values. That's why we join these 2 points A and B. The line joining these 2 points, by considering the DC conditions, we are naming it as DC load line. Then coming to the next topic, concept of AC load line. So AC load line. AC load line is the line which is drawn along which Q point shifts up and down when changes in the output voltage and the current of an amplifier are caused by an AC input signal. So to draw the AC load line, we assume that a finite value of load resistance RL is connected across the circuit. Now, I will show this in the figure. Okay. Now, the RC is in parallel with the resistance, load resistance, that is RL. The effective load resistance RAC, that is AC resistance, is the combination of the resistance RC parallel to the RL. That is, RAC can be treated as the parallel equivalent resistance of the parallel connection of the resistance RC as well as R. To add AC load line to the output characteristics, we again require 2 endpoints. That is point A and point B. These are located in saturation and cutoff regions. The maximum collector emitter voltage point or cutoff point is given as VCE maximum is equals to VCEQ plus ICQ into REC. Okay. So the DC load line is drawn between the output voltage VC and output current IC. So when there is no input signal, is applied to the transistor amplifier. After draw the DC load line, the AC load line is drawn when a input D signal is applied to the amplifier. After this, amplification process is done. The output is taken across the load resistance R. The resistance across the collector is now equal to a parallel combination of this RC and R. Under AC conditions, as capacitor, that is the coupling capacitor, can be considered as a short at a frequency operation. As a result, a new load line needs to be drawing on the output characteristics to be able to determine collector current and collector voltage for given input excitation. This line is called as AC load line. It is drawn passing through the operating point. So here, in this plot, the DC load line is represented by AQB. AQB is also drawn simultaneously in the given figure. It may be seen that the DC and AC load line intersect the point Q point, where we are going to name this Q as operating point. The DC load line is drawn by joining the points, point A and point B, whereas the AC load line is drawn by joining the points C and D. The point C represents VC value, which is equal to VCQ plus ICQ into RAC. And the point D represents ICQ plus VCEQ by RAC. Similarly, as we have seen in the earlier case, the point A represents VCC comma 0 and the point B represents 0 comma VCC by RC. Okay, here at point A, VC is equal to VCC and point B, IC is equal to VCC by RC. So for AC load line, at point C, is represented as VCE comma 0, where VCE can be given as VCQ plus ICQ plus ICQ into RAC. RAC can given as load resistance, where RAC is given as the parallel equal resistance of the parallel connection of RC and RL. And coming to the point D, it represents 0 comma IC. Okay, where IC is given as ICQ plus VCQ by RAC. AC load line is a graph which is a graph or a line which is drawn between the points C and D. Now coming to the next topic, selection of operating point on the DC load line with waveforms. So here the operating point can be selected at 3 different positions on the DC load line: near saturation, near cutoff region, or at center, that is in the active region. So the operating point is fixed somewhere in the active region for ensuring proper operation of the transistor as an amplifier. So in order to produce distortion-free output in amplifier circuits, the supply voltages and the resistances in the circuit must be properly chosen. These voltages and resistance establish a set of collector voltage, that is VCQ, and DC collector current, that is ICQ, to operate the transistor in the active region. These values of current and voltage are expressed by the term operating point, or also we can name it as quiescent point. Suppose if the operating point is chosen, this gives the graphical representation of complete selection of operating point. Suppose if the operating point is chosen at the point P, for example, which is close to saturation region, then the output current will be clipped at the positive peaks. So this point is not a correct selection. Here, if we observe this graph here, this is the DC load line. On the DC load line, here we are going to represent the operating point Q exactly on the middle of the active region. Here, if we select the operating point at T, which is very, very close to saturation region, then the output current will be clipped at the positive peaks. So this point is not at all a correct selection of operating point. Next, similarly, consider another point. Similarly, which shows another point that is R, which is close to cutoff region. Yes, then the output signal will be clipped off at the negative peaks. So this point is also not a correct selection of operating point. The operating point is chosen at the middle of the active region so that the distortion can be avoided. The output signal will not clip at both positive and negative peak. If you observe, see here, if you observe this waveform, positive, it is since the operating point is close to saturation region, here the positive peaks are clipped. Similarly, at this point, if it is the operating point is selected exactly close to the cutoff region, in this case, the output, the negative peak is clipped. If you observe this case, here, what happened? The output signal doesn't clips. You are observing both the peaks are without clipping here. So there is not at all any clipping, and the output signal will not clip at both the positive and negative peaks. Thus, we can state that the selection of operating point determines the maximum signal that can be handled by an amplifier. Okay. Hope you understood. The biasing circuit is designed, for example, with the help of biasing circuit. Suppose it is designed to fix the Q point, which is nearer to point P, which is very, very close to saturation region. Then the collector current is clipped at the positive half cycle. And meanwhile, since the positive half peak is clipping, it is not at all suitable operating point. In case 2, similarly, if the operating point is selected at the point R, which is very near to cutoff region, here negative peaks are clipped. This is also not suitable operating point. In the case 3, if the biasing circuit is designed to fix the Q point, which is exactly at the middle of the active region or middle of the DC load line, then the output collector current is the sinusoidal waveform without any clipping. Thus, the point Q is the best operating point. So, thus we have discussed in this section. We have discussed the concepts of DC load line, DC load line, AC load line, and meanwhile, how we have selected the operating point of a transistor for a faithful amplification, that is without any distortion. So, hope you could understand this session. Let's go through the previous slides once more. The load line represents the graphical representation. This is going to draw on the output characteristics of the transistor in common emitter configuration. So here the graph is taken between the two parameters, that is output current versus output voltage in a non-linear device like diode or transistor. Okay. Moving on to the next. We observe this in DC load line analysis. We need to consider the circuit with the transistor common emitter transistor without application of any input signal. Okay. And AC load line analysis, we need to connect the AC. By considering the input AC signal, we have to consider the analysis. So in coming session, we'll discuss what are the factors affect the operating points? And meanwhile, we'll see what is thermal runaway, what is the need for proper biasing in the amplifier circuits, and different types of biasing circuits. Okay. So with this, I'm going to stop my session. We'll meet in the next session with another new topic. Hope you could understand. Thank you very much.